Even though all eyes are obviously going to be on the 4th overall pick for the Toronto Raptors, there is still a big interest in who they select in the second round with the 46th and 47th overall pick. And I think that there is a good opportunity to select a backup big man or a big man for the future. So in this video, we're going to look at 3 big men that the Raptors should consider drafting with those second round picks. Let's get into it. Welcome everybody to Amateur Hour Sports, just a channel where you get NBA content with a focus on the Toronto Raptors at least 4 days a week. That is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. This is your Saturday episode where we're looking at big men for the Raptors to draft in the second round, specifically 3 of them. So if you like what you see from today's video, you want more of myself talking about the NBA and the Raptors and videos and content just like this, hit that subscribe button down below to show support to the channel on our road to 5,000 subscribers. You can also check out our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/amateursports, for more NBA content to help you get through the off season. So on our road to 5,000 subscribers, you can help us get there by subscribing. We are getting so close to that big milestone. But let's get down to business, because we have a lot to uncover in this video, because usually these videos are full videos for the specific prospect. Today we got to go through 3 in the same video, so let's not waste a lot of time here, because the Raptors, they've got the 4th overall pick. We know that they're going to be looking at Suggs, Mobley, Green, maybe even Barnes for some reason, but second round picks often do help out the Raptors. And with the 46th and 47th overall pick, it's not nothing, because we've had guys help us win a championship in that position. Norman Powell was selected 46th overall, so it's not just an extra pick. There is an opportunity to find something here. The Raptors do need some bench help, and they definitely need help in the big department. So I think that I have found 3 really good bigs who can help out this team in the future, whether it be, down the road, whether it be immediately as a backup center. So let's get into the 3 prospects. So the first prospect that I have for you, he's a big name, Luka Garza. What's really weird about Luka Garza is he is undoubtedly the best player in college basketball. He was the best player in college basketball last season, but he's flirting with a second round pick selection, which is odd. I just find it so odd that a player who puts up not so great stats in college but is athletic can go 6th overall or 5th overall, like, let's say Kuminga or Barnes. Obviously Kuminga wasn't in college, but underwhelming stats, but you have the potential. Whereas Garza, look at these eye-popping stats. Over 24 points per game, over 8 rebounds per game, almost 9 rebounds per game, on wildly efficient shooting. 55% from the field, 44% from 3. This guy is extraordinary. Also 1.6 blocks, stands at 6'11". There is so much to like about Luka Garza, but he's flirting with a second round pick selection, which we are obviously going to get to. But I think this would be a good selection for the Raptors. And I think that the talent is there, even though there is going to be a lot of drawbacks with this player. Obviously, with those stats, you see the talent within this player, because his basketball IQ is off the charts. Like I said, 6'11", he's got a really good frame, which helps him body his way to the bucket. But even though he's got the big frame, the body to get to the rim, he's got the 3-point shot, 44% shooting from 3. Again, this was the best player in college last season. Was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal for Iowa. He's great on the interior. He's just one of those guys who is just so fundamental, because he doesn't have that athleticism to rely on. You can kind of tell when he's finishing at the rim, he's doing these movements he has done 1,000 times in his life. He's just in the gym, constantly working on his craft to harness the most out of his potential, because he doesn't have that athleticism to rely on. He is just so smart and so calculated as a player. All that goes along with some great intangibles, leading this Iowa team to a 2 seed. Ultimately fell to Oregon, my Oregon Ducks, the number 7 seed in March Madness, but still nothing to be ashamed of for the season he had. But why is this player flirting with a second round selection? And the reason is because even though he's got all of these great skills, his just natural ability to be athletic lets him down. He's not quick, he's not very fast, and on defense, he's going to get absolutely exposed in the NBA for that. Sure, defending the rim might be fine for a player with his size, with his ability to block, but if he ever go to the perimeter, if he gets caught in a pick and roll situation, he's going to be toast. And that is why not a lot of NBA scouts are looking at him in the first round. But second round, I think, is a good opportunity to take a chance on this guy. His wingspan is only 6'11" as well, which does let him down, especially without the speed. And he's a 4-year college player. Scouts don't like to take that on. But what I like about him is the fact that he can put up a ton of points, a volume score, and he's got all these fundamentals about his game that I think that he can just continue to harness and get to the next level. Not where he's going to be a star, but we're looking in the second round like guys who are going to be part of your rotation. And I think Luka Garza could come in and tear up the 905, and I think he could come and perform a role in the NBA in the future. He's a good spot. So with that, let's move on to our next player. So Ibu Dianko-Badji is an interesting prospect. He's very young, 18 years old, and there's a lot of upsides to this player, but there is a long way to go to get to that position. So looking at his stats, 5.8 points per game, 4.8 rebounds per game, 1.3 blocks, decently efficient, not really though, 48% shooting, only 1.67% shooting from 3, and a 61% shooting from the free throw line. That is not the worst thing in the world, especially if you are 7'1" and you are only 18 playing in a pro league. So he's got a long way to go, and I think that the per 36 stats are also illuminating for this player because you've got 13 points per game, over 10 rebounds per game, and 3 blocks per game, which looks quite nice. And the reason this player is kind of on the radar for some NBA teams is the fact that he's got those quick twitch athletics, which is very rare for his position, going along with the fact that, again, he is 7'1" and he's very strong, very good at defending the rim. He's a paint beast. He's been likened to people like Dikembe Mutombo because of his ability to guard the paint, to get blocks, and it's not just his size that gets there, it's the timing of these blocks, his ability to get these blocks without fouling too many people. That's where his player comparable comes in. His shooting mechanics, even though he is 7'1", are also there, which has some NBA scouts talking like, okay, can this guy actually develop an outside game? And there is a potential to do that if the team who drafts him can harness his potential, what the Raptors have been able to do in the past with many players. So with those shooting mechanics, can you get this 7'1" paint beast who's got this quick twitch athletic ability where, he can run downhill, he can play in the full court. He's not just some big guy who just sits in the rim. He has the ability to run downhill and get these athletic dunks and, these highlight reel plays. But can he get that 3-point game as well? That is something that remains to be seen. And, even ball handling potential. He's not just a back down guy at the rim. He can actually create his own shot in the half court, in the mid range, not shooting the mid range, but he can create an opportunity at the rim for himself by dribbling past his defender. It's something that is there. It's got a lot of work to get to though, because this player is extremely raw. And right now his outside shooting isn't very good. And his field goal percentage isn't quite what you would expect for a guy who is 7'1", being at 48%. That definitely needs to improve. He is still very young, of course, and that can improve, but he has a long way to go to get to where he wants to be, and he turns over the ball a little bit too much. All things forgivable for an 18-year-old, but again, a long way to go to get to where he needs to be. But with a 46th overall pick, this could be an interesting project for the Toronto Raptors they may elect to take on. I like what I see from this player, and I think the Raptors should 100% consider taking him with that second round pick. But let's move on to our third player. A little bit different, not a true big like a Garza or a Badji, but something a little bit different here. Now, this is a player that a lot of Raptors fans have been looking at because this is basically the reincarnation of Pascal Siakam. It is like the exact same player as Pascal Siakam in Amar Sila, and hopefully I am saying that name correctly. My apologies if I'm not saying it correctly, Amar Sila. But let's look at his points here. So he was playing in the Belgian Pro League, which isn't an awful league. He's playing pro basketball. He's playing with men, which means that he can't just rely on his size here. And with his slightly bit of craftiness, he was putting up 8.7 points per game, 5.7 rebounds per game, 1.1 blocks per game, which is quite nice. Pretty good at that weak side defense, getting those blocks. And the field goal percentages are all right as well. Almost 50% shooting from the field, only 17% shooting from 3, but still, it's developing. That's something that's coming to his game. And if he was better at that, he wouldn't be flirting with a second round pick. But lots of potential here. Only 60% shooting from the free throw line as well. That can improve because he does have the shooting mechanics. He's another player with a lot of potential. And you'll see the similarities with Pascal Siakam as we progress through this. But this player is flirting with a second round pick and possibly going undrafted. So something I think the Raptors should 100% consider because he is a freak athlete and he's got over 7 7-foot wingspan, which is phenomenal. He's 6'9", very similar to Pascal Siakam again. So he's not quite that true center, but he is a big man. He's a power forward who can also play the center. Did have to play some games at center for his club team in Belgium. Has also represented Senegal at a very high level, along with Badji, actually, ironically. He's got a very good full court offense. He runs downhill. He can play very well in transition, and he's crafty in the half court. He can create his own shot in the half court. He's really good at utilizing not quite his ball handling, but the head fakes and the hesitations and the movements to get past his defender, even to just throw his defender a little bit off balance, and then he uses that speed, that athleticism to blow by and get himself to the rim. Remind you of somebody, like I keep saying, reincarnation of Pascal Siakam, basically. Also, again, he's got the shooting mechanics. This is something that you can work with at the next level. It's something that, if you harness it correctly, he can be a serviceable three-point shooter at the highest level of basketball, which is the NBA, and the defense 1.1 blocks per game just showcased a little bit. But because of his speed and his size, it allows him to defend the 2 through 5 positions. Again, he has played as a center for his club team. So even though he's a power forward, he can defend. He does have the switchability, which will definitely appeal to the Raptors. This player, all of these things combined, leads to very high upside. I would say higher than normal for the projection here. He's projected to go in the second round to late second round to undrafted, all around that area. And with the upside here, I think that the Raptors can certainly look at this player like somebody they can work with, because they've worked with a player just like him before. Get him ready for the next level and harness the potential that he has, because there is a ton of potential here. I think that if he is going to get drafted around 46th or 47th overall, there's going to be a lot of teams who regret not taking him earlier, but a lot has to go right to get there. And that's because he's another person who is extremely raw, and the shooting does need work for this player. Like I said, the mechanics are there, but he needs to polish it a little bit. But he's only 19 years old, so he's got a long way to go to get that development, and the Raptors can definitely harness that development phase. His ball handling is also something that lets him a little bit down. When he's going full speed in transition, he doesn't quite have the handles to get by defenders, and sometimes it's a little bit sloppy, and the ball handling won't create him his own shots. It's really him relying on his athleticism, which is capable of helping him at the next level, but he is going to have to learn to ball handle if he wants to be effective in the NBA. There's also some questions about his basketball IQ, especially when he hits full speed. He really loses his ability to process everything going on around him and make the correct decision, which can lead to possibly some offensive fouls, which can lead to some turnovers or some ill-advised shooting attempts. But again, you can forgive this stuff for a 19-year-old player. But because he is 19, because he's extremely raw, this is another very long-term project. But with the upside available, if the Raptors decide they don't need like a sure thing right now, maybe they want to go into the 46th and 47th overall pick. Like, let's take one guy who's going to help us maybe in a year or two, and one guy that we can work on and try to harness his potential, get him up to the level we want him to be. And with all of this upside about this player, the Raptors can look at him like somebody who can contribute on the bench in the future. So I am strongly looking at a Marcelo. He's not quite that true big like Luka Garza or like a Ibu Dianko Badji, but there was a lot to like about him as well. And again, very comparable to Pascal Siakam. So there you have it. Those are the three bigs I think the Raptors should strongly consider taking in the second round. Luka Garza is more of, he's pretty much at his ceiling, but can you get him to an NBA level? The other two, Badji and Sela, can you get them to the next level and harness their potential? So depends if the Raptors want to take it on. Do they even want to draft a big in this position? It all will remain to be seen, but we'll be watching along that NBA draft live on Twitch Thursday, so make sure you are there for that. And Tuesday, we're going to be mock drafting the entire lottery if you want to stay for that as well. Link is down below for the Twitch. So that wraps up for me for today. Lots of draft content coming in the future. You know, we post 4 days a week on this channel, but I want to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on these three prospects in the comments down below. Do you want them on the team? Do you think it's a bad idea to draft them? I want to hear everything that you have to say, because that is it from me. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are still here, be sure to hit that like button if you did enjoy the video at any point. Really goes a long way to helping this channel grow with that YouTube algorithm, getting us some new viewers. Also, it shows me that you made it to the end of the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. On a road to 5,000 subscribers, you can help us get there. When we get there, I'm going to shave my head to celebrate, and I'm going to shave it live on Twitch as well. Other videos by the channel you may enjoy, and always remember, at the end of the day, believe what I say, and if you disagree, that is okay. Enjoy the grind, and I'll see you again next time for another video.